2018 UKIE. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you can right click on that and make a copy on your desktop.
Copy to desktop. Shortcut, yeah.
Yep.
Desktop, yeah, got it.
Yep. And I've done the same with mine.
And then do I just rename it with the project name at the end of it?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things you need to do. Let me just show you. Whoops. I'll do it on my one as well because I also need to do this. So here we go. So if you got one like this, so what I do is take whatever you've got for a copy, right click and then go properties, and then in the dialog box we need to put the path in for the drawings. So I don't know if you want to get that window open.
So you go to properties.
Yep, go to properties, open Windows Explorer.
How come I don't get it? How do you get your shortcut settings?
There'll be different tabs here. So it's the middle and the bottom.
I don't get that, unfortunately.
Don't you?
I just get the details, security, and previous versions.
Ooh.
I'm doing it on black box here, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. You can't do that then, because yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'll delete that. I'll just keep to the.
Yep.
Hoping because I've done it again.
Yep. But I'll show you the process because but yeah, we'll have to get Gary to fix that. So basically, what you do is you just, because I'll need a shortcut anyway. So you normally just take the location, which is the drawings folder, because obviously everything we have in the drawings starts within the drawings folder. Copy and paste that location in here. Come up to the general tab and just rename it to. Oops, where'd it go? Set to here we go. So what you should do is then in the future for that project click on that link. But what I'll do is I'll chase up with Gary and I'll make sure that we've got civil shortcuts for all the new projects, because obviously yeah, you can't do that customization on the black box. So back to the file. What we need to do is check the geomaps. But again, like I was doing with altitude, Tony, I do this with all the master planning files as well, because having the aerial as a reference is a really cool tool. And then all you need to do is make sure you open the civil file, do what I did in terms of the location, and then set that, and then this command will work. So if you type in geomaps,
I'm just having to catch up and then go to reboot civil system.
okay.
I just want to bring the topo in now. I've got my.
Okay, do that.
I did the isolate. Now in theory my profile should be there.
Okay.
The IL. Okay. Yeah, I might have to sort out the profiles later on, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to get the geolocation thing to work.
Okay. Cool. So in your AutoCAD, if you have that back open again.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to copy in. So I'm just going to copy the survey across.
Yep.
And you actually do it by original points, right? That's the most.
Yeah.
I do to 0, 0.
You can do, but original coordinates also gets the Z value as well.
So copy with base point and put 0, 0.
I wouldn't normally do that. I'd normally, because if you do that,
Copy.
Well, if you do that, make sure you go 0, 0, 0 and add the third 0 for the Z axis as well, just to make sure it doesn't change the height of anything as you copy it. Because I normally find if you copy it and then paste the original coordinates, then it doesn't move anywhere in the X, Y, Z values. So that's just something to be. Yeah. Bollocks!
You can see what happened, it just crashed on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, alright. Nibbles, you copy the active files to the coordinate, and then we'll go to geolocation now, go.
Yep, cool. So let me just copy across another couple of layers here. So I'll take the intermediate contours. Alright, I think that's probably all I need for now. So, clipboard, copy. Clipboard, paste original coordinates. There we go. So within Civil, you should just be able to type in the command geomap.
Okay.
Oops, geomaps with an S, and then it comes up with a prompt. I just go H for hybrid because it has aerial plus roads. Hit enter.
Boom.
And as you can see, boom, that looks pretty damn accurate to me.
But just a logic error, because you've gone from the survey, that survey,
Yep.
That original CAD survey,
Yep.
you assigned a WGS coordinate system
Yep.
to that, and then you did it with this file, not the survey file. So you just copied this to the base. How do you know this actually in its real world?
Yep. Well, the only way I know it's in the real world is by, and this has actually been a useful tool to know how accurate the surveys have been sent to us, and if they're in the right location. Because obviously what I've done through here is I've come into the settings here. I don't know if you saw this, but I also set the geolocation here. And then I'll just show you.
So this is the active file that you're actually dropping in the.
So this is the new clean one.
Have the right coordinate system.
Yep. So this is a new clean one. I assigned this coordinate system, and let's just say for argument's sake, if it was not correct, let's actually open. Which one was it? Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's not mess around with that. But so what I did for Zagaleta was hold on a sec. I've lost my tab. So if you come to here and find that this doesn't use the right coordinate system, you then next point of call would be coming down here and seeing what country ones they have. So here we have Albania. So these are what they call local map grids, which may be slightly older surveys. And then you just, so what you do is you would hit the survey.
Toggle with them really until you.
You and see here like the aerial map is completely out. It's completely off. It's a different datum, so that one doesn't work. So some drawings, like it's literally processed with Spain. I tried the WGS UTM one first. It didn't work. I then had to go through, and I think it was about the fourth or fifth one that I hit on the country one that actually popped it into position. So you'll see here there'll be different. Because what you might find is if you find a survey comes through and it's close, if it's like a couple of meters shift and slight rotation, that still means it's the wrong one. It should literally hit within like at least a quarter of a meter. It should be that accurate.
Okay, so basically that we get a problem if this doesn't line up.
Yep.
It should all line up.
Yep.
Let's check the datum.
Yep.
In this new file that you've created.
Yep.
So we know the right world space.
Yep.
Survey information, it all should line up.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And I'll just show you here, just to because I think it's important to show when it kind of doesn't quite go right. Um,
I'm just seeing your titling there. So, would you save this file as the civil file then? EXSI1 underscore civil, or?
yeah. So what I would tend to do is that EXSIO1 would just be a bog standard clean file. And to be honest, that could actually be purged down and not have all the civil layers and all that sort of stuff. So that one could just be the EXSIO1. What I tend to do is the file that I use to build up a base in terms of, we get the global mapper data, we get all the other information, and then start doing civil elements in that file. I will just add the tag civil after that because it's a working file and you don't want that extracted into your master plans. So ideally you want two kind of survey files. One is your EXSIO1, which is clean survey, weeded out, really optimal. That goes into all your master plans and all your drawings. And then there's the other civil file here, which is your working file, which you kind of need anyway, because obviously civil's in 2018 and our CAD's in 26 or 20 whatever. So they don't really.
And what do you name it, just for convention?
Same as what I've done here. Normally just
Just call it civil.
Yeah, let me save here. So I've got here civil, and then I only put AM on it because I'm working offline on this one. I don't.
Okay, so that's the distinction, and
Yep.
this one's got all the extra information.
Yep, and then this, yeah. So this has got all the data and models and all the other bits and pieces as well. So just to show you here, like you can see here how much of a shift there is. And I think let's just double check the drawing settings in here.
Luke, are you following this, buddy?
Yeah. I lost some steps, but I'm following.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when Aaron teaches me, I lose the plot.
Lose the plot.
Between us on this project, it's just prove our understanding and.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I mean, what I will do is I have actually intended to go through a new project and document this in a video. And to be honest, when you're doing a video, it's a much more concise and simple step to go through one or the other. But it's good to have this conversation as we go because it helps you understand why we do things as well.
Yeah.
So this one, what I did is let me just turn the XREF off for the second survey that was a bit shit. So let me just unload this one. So basically, I used that geomaps command to analyze the survey here. So everything else matches here. So it's all perfect. Roads are perfect. Well, not really. And this is like massively out. To the point where it's actually 26 meters difference between the aerial and the site survey. So this tells me.
The geomap area, right? So you've just literally done what you've just done on Albania.
Yep. Yep.
By selecting a particular coordinate system, you get this error.
Yep. But then I think this is a result that whoever did this drone survey has messed up and it's distorted and they haven't corrected it. So it's actually this is telling me this is an incorrect survey. Because there's some weird shifts on here.
So is the geomap base error always accurate?
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. It's normally accurate to within at least a quarter of a meter. But then the problem with this one is if you have a look, if I reload the other XREF. So you'll see here when I select it, like even the roads on this one are massively out. So you'll see here the roads, like they don't even follow the aerial. It is just literally like Jesus, like what the fuck, like.
That's quite tricky, isn't it? Because then you're kind of relying on defunct data here.
It is. But then you look at things.
We can't send surveys. We can actually highlight the problems, and then if you have to carry on designing, you can use the error to design. Exactly.
So this is a massive red flag for us, and we've actually gone back to the clients and said, look, you need to sort this out. Because the other problem is you look at here, I mean, look at the contours of the Gulf. I mean, these are 5-meter contours. You're not telling me there's 5, 10, 15, 20 meters height difference across one side of the golf course to the other. So that tells me this topo data is wildly out. And then you can see here, like the roads kind of match up here, okay. But look at this one. We've got between the two surveys, there's even a massive difference. And then the aerial's also out. But typically the aerial should be fairly close. And normally, if there's a little bit of a shift, it might be down to the local map grid. They might have used a different datum. But if you normally cycle through, you'll find one that's very close. But yeah, any problems with something like that, then definitely let me know. But even in AutoCAD, having the file georeference, once you've set the setting in here for the correct geolocation, even in AutoCAD, that geomap command works. So you can turn it on and turn it off, which is fantastic. So similar to this one, so geomaps. Oops, no location right. What's that? Oh, wrong one. Angola. So let's put this back again.
So from our point, Aaron, we can do this. We take the survey and then copy across, create the civil file.
Yep.
Open the map, and then we've got the survey in its right world.
Yep.
Step.
Yep. Yep. And then this becomes the base. And then this also works with the global mapper getting the contextual topo as well. So it means if we go into global mapper now and get the contextual topo, when we export that, the topo will just literally drop in the correct location. You won't have to move anything. It's brilliant.
Okay, so when you've got two sets of surveys there, you've got the client survey and the global map.
Yep.
For what we're trying to do, which is getting to a 3D model.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So
would you rely on the global map for terrain, or so you've got all the context same time? Would you still mesh in the past with the actual survey?
Yep. I mean, what I've found the best thing to do is I would tend to go into global mapper and I would get the contextual topo of the area that we need. And then within Civil, I would build two surfaces because Civil can join the two together. And then I'd export that into InfoWorks as one model. But we can show you the setup of the InfoWorks model as well if you like.
I think for today, Aaron, just show us with what we need to do. I'm trying to get Luca to build the context model.
Okay. Okay.
So we need to crack on with it and start to map an image as well.
Okay.
But running. Then we can have it InfoWorks as an active file, and maybe tomorrow we can jump onto the roads.
Okay. Okay.
So, let's assume. I don't want to go through the step of the civil in terms of building two servers, combining them. That's an extra bonus. Let's assume we use global mapper survey.
Yep.
So what's the next step?
Okay. So you want to have a look at the global mapper stuff?
Yeah, because we want to build context.
Okay.
I want to use. How big and why do we decide, to bring basically the context into
as
a file that we can use in InfoWorks?
Okay. So let me just show you a thing as well. So what I would typically do is I don't know if you've thought about a layout for this as well.
We have.
Yep. So if this is going to be let me just.
In actual, that's it. You have another CAD file. Can you copy layout sheets?
I can. So I've got them both open, so we can use the view. Design Manager, Design Center. Luca, have you used this one before?
I have. It's very good.
Yep. So open files, and this one, layouts.
So that's the one that we're using at the moment.
So I don't know if I might need to drag that into the drawing, not the layout. But there we go. Let's have a look. So if I go, delete. Bish bosh bash.
Okay.
So what you can do is, because the maps that you show in the background, the geo maps, are not, it's a reference, it won't print them out. So let me just go draw a rectangle here. So what I do is just draw a rectangle on the over the viewport. Use the CHSPACE command to CH space. And what this does is I just drew a rectangle over the viewport.
It copies it into model space.
Yep. And then basically that copies that into model space. So now that shot that through into model space. So now if I say offset that by 100 meters to give us a bit of extra, I'll leave that there. But what we can do is we can, now it's been geo-referenced, within geolocation you can do a thing which is called capture area. So what you can do is it'll capture and embed this as an image. So it shortcuts the whole process of trying to go into Google Earth and then, you know, taking a JPEG and coming into here and aligning it up, blah 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 blah. So you just literally go capture area, and then you just click on the rectangle, and then if we type in geomaps, and then go off, you'll see that now that's embedded as a JPEG.
Is it actually a JPEG?
Yep.
So,
so I would keep that. I would.
You do this so quickly, mate. That's amazing.
Well, that's the thing I'm saying. Like once you've done it several times, it's actually fairly quick and it's actually fairly easy in terms of just building something up.
So this is all again. So this civil file that you've got going on is pretty important because it does all the heavy lifting, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, you can set up bases like super quickly, and then you can even use this.
If I want to, I can copy across this into the original survey file. If I want to.
Yep. Or your master plan file, or whatever you like. The only limitation with this is if you zoom in, you'll see it's a bit ropey. But what you can do is if you select on the image, I would obviously put it on a layer called master plan image, maybe civil aerial or something like that. But you'll see when you select it, let me just select the aerial, that's the frame. So there'll be a miscellaneous thing here which has resolution. So you can change it from optimal to coarse to fine to very fine. So
the question is, so when do you have to set that before you capture, or you actually?
No, you can do it afterwards.
You can actually go back and change the property.
Yeah, so you can change it to coarse, you can change it to fine, very fine. And then what you can do is you can then come across to your viewport and then EPS it out.
No.
So and then there's your referenced aerial in Photoshop, aligned, bish bosh bash, done. But the only limitation with that is for some reason when you plot to EPS the qualities are really shit. So
anyway.
Yeah, but either way, it goes a bit shitty. So what I tend to do is get this in Photoshop for the geolocation, and then maybe even get the JP from Google Earth and just use that as the alignment tool. But the good thing is because this is geolocated, this is also links with InfoWorks and Global Mapper and everything like that as well. So so that's quite good.
Okay.
And then the other limitation is if you zoom in, even on the highest setting, so that is very fine. If I type geomaps in, and then type it on again, if I zoom in, you'll see here even very fine is not that great. If I turn this layer off.
Yeah, so even the actual base file geomap isn't brilliant anyway.
Yeah. So it's more for ease of reference and for alignment and things like that.
Is it better than Google?
Well, when you zoom in here and you can see the detail, this is very good quality. It's very good.
Plenty for what we need for master plans, and I think the client's got a survey file already anyways.
Yep. So he'll probably have a high resolution aerial that matches this as well.
I've got an auto photo on that.
Yep.
This is great.
Yep. So same, if he's got an ortho file, you use the insert tools here, the specific image insert tools here, that you can insert a geotiff and it'll automatically drop it in the right location.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's geotiff, but can you copy and cross the other one?
Well, let's have a look.
It should be in the survey file.
Okay, let's have a look. If he's given it to you, so let's go projects.
How are we doing for time? It's 3 o'clock, guys. I don't want to get too long. Luke and I can stay on. Raquel, no?
Yeah, still here.
Still here. Still alive.
Aaron, how long have you got, mate? I know you're busy, mate. So.
Well, I can follow through the process just to make sure that we're not leaving you hanging, so I'm okay.
Okay.
So I don't know. Transfer. Let's just have a look and see. Where is the survey file and where would the aerial possibly be?
It's called in the XSIR1 file.
Okay.
And it should be the image file is actually in the drawings image.
Oh, so the image. So is the image file already in the CAD file or not?
It is in the CAD file.
Okay, that's fine.
I've mapped it to the drawings file images.
Okay, that's fine. Not a problem at all. Yeah, so that was just to show you the aerial mapping in here. So if we go to global mapper, we'll then show you about the context. So what I would do is where did my Earth go?
The global mapper is a command in Civils, is that right or not?
No, it's a separate application. Unfortunately.
So this is where do you get all this information for the image then? Under what?
Oh, sorry.
Geolocation.
Yeah, so this aerial, this is all under the geomaps command to turn this on and turn it off. And then once it's in the drawing, you can use the geolocation tab. Oh, sorry, what is it actually? Yeah, so
maps, yeah.
Yep. So then you can go to, and then what you can do is, if you want to, you can obviously grab capture area. You can capture multiple areas, and things like that. So. Sorry, so yes, there's an option, you can do multiple areas, different sizes, one for each viewport. So that's what I did with altitude. I just went in and just used this as a reference and created one for each viewport. So if we want to go to the I'm lost my window here.
I just need to get into it and just play with it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's what I see. There's lots of small steps, so it's a bit fiddly and a bit tricky. But once you've done it, it's a bunch of quite simple steps.
I've got the half past 3, so let's try and get to a point where we can take what you're telling us into an InfraWorks model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No doubt we'll have to come back to you with questions, though.
Yep. Cool. So. Right, so global mapper. Shit, hang on a minute. This is the wrong way around. I've got my windows around the wrong way. Bloody log me in! Right, so right, so global mappers on the black box. I think we've only got one license, so you need to be careful if someone else is using it. It might pop up with a license error, and we can fix that. So basically, the first thing you need to do is go to configure. And then set the coordinate system to the same coordinate system that the server that your drawing is in. So we're Right, so what we're going to do is click the top one first. Come to
WGS straight at the top.
yeah, where is it? Sometimes it's under WGS and sometimes it's under UTM. Here we go, UTM. And then we were 34 north, weren't we? Which would be plus 34. So WGS 84, UTM 34 north. Hit apply. Hit OK. So the way Global Mapper works is you can access online data, and then you can do lots of various mapping things with that data. So the first thing we do is obviously set the coordinate system so it matches our project. We then come here and go connect to data online, and then so there's a little icon up here, and if you hover over it, it says connect to online data. Best thing to go for is imagery first because we need to find where we are. So I just click on world imagery, leave everything else standard, click connect. That will load up the world imagery in a tab here. Because it's WGS, the first one will show the whole world and it'll be massively distorted. So we just need a few seconds for that to load up. But it's the easiest way to kind of navigate to where your site is. I would also have a look at Google Earth. Again.
Luca, this is all making sense for you to do this, is it?
Yeah.
I know you've probably
never used Global Mapper before, but it's all great now.
Yeah. And what we do is, I'm just opening up Google Earth because this will help us decide. Let me just chuck roads on so I can see where the site is. This will help us decide what context we want to capture. So the site is here. So what we can do is we can just have a look around in 3D and just say, right, okay, so what mountain ranges will be in the foreground of any view. So if you're taking a view, I mean, this also depends on you, Tony. If you say, well, we're going to do an aerial view and it's going to capture, both of these mountain ranges, then we would make sure that the context captures both of those mountain ranges. Or if you're going to say, well, actually the site is down here, and our context is this wee guy, and we're going to be doing views kind of down and around about here, we're probably going to want to capture where is it? These guys across through here, which is your second mountain range. So normally it's a combination of having a look around on Google Earth, and then seeing what context you want to capture, whether it's just this top first mountain range, or you might want to actually go large and get this whole area. But we can get two different data sets, or we can trim that down in Civil, so that's not a problem. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you the process here, and then once we have it, it's much easier. Luke can go in again and just get more data.
I was going to say, if you needed more information, can you just swap it out?
Yep.
Wider content.
Yeah, and that's why we probably don't just rely on the model builder and InfoWorks. We actually go through Civil and the Global Mapper, because once we've done that combination of surfaces, we can update things and nothing will change. We can just update it. So we can make the model and we can go back and say we need extra context or something like that. So we can go there. So what we do is we'll save a copy of this in the project file. So again, Luca, if you want to open this and have a play with it and get some more data out of it, you can browse and find this file. So this one is Jala. So drawings master planning 3D, and I'll make a one for global map. I should get Gary to put this in the template, to be honest. There we go. So if you need to come back to this file, you just open Global Mapper. If you have any issues with licensing as well, again with all our software, the best place to have a first look is Teams, Planning, Resources, Templates Training, Global Mapper. So what we tend to do is if we have any troubleshooting or issues, we have a little Word file for each of our different parts of software. So this will be a first point of call if something doesn't happen. They changed the license server recently, and that caused a few errors. So if you get an error when you're loading up, one, it'll either be someone else has got the license active, but to be honest, it's only myself and Alan that are using it at the moment, so that you can just check with us. And then you might need to just basically go through this process here of connecting to the license thing and then copying and pasting to make sure that the server and the port's correct, and then that will work. So that was a bit of an issue I had to sort out with Gary yesterday or last week. But once that's done, it works perfectly fine. So hopefully it shouldn't be an issue. So let's have a look, find out where we are. So normally use a combination of where are we here? Google Earth to look at the land formations, and then just try and sort of like, you know, flick between the two till we can find the site. So we know. So I think this bay here, aren't we? Yeah, so we're here. So what I would tend to do is from this point, I'll show you how we can get sort of like just the approximate context. So what we do is we just zoom out. So if we want to capture this area as context, what we can do is we then go back to the Connect Online tab. We then go to Terrain Data, and the one that we want is the SRTRM Worldwide 1 arcsecond version 3. I would put the detail to more detail. You can either choose to capture the screen bounds, or you can select a box. So we'll draw a box and say, actually, I want to draw down elevation data for that area. Hit OK. That's okay. Hit connect, and then what it will do.
Imagery first, and then terrain afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you just get the image first to just basically find where your site is and get you to the site. And that's, you can actually export these aerials as high resolution aerial TIFFs, but you have to be careful. If you go too big, they can take like 2 days to export and just be monstrous. But I'll just show you the process in terms of contour. So again, that comes through. So if we just want to, can also rename that if we want, elevation data context. So what we can do is this, then every time you do a capture like that, it just captures that as a layer here. So you can turn that on, you can turn that off. So again, you can come back and you can say, well, actually, I want the context of this entire mountain range. So you could actually say, well, I want to capture this again. Data here.
Would you delete the other one?
No, you just leave it there, because you might find you want more detail. One area close to the site and one area further away.
So what global data and global mapper's doing, you look at the site, you're just getting all the layers of data that you need. So
yep.
It's interesting you've done this. Why would we need this kind of elevation data? Is that just in case we don't have a good service?
Well, I'll show you, because the next step. Let's just go connect. So once we've got the elevation data here, let me just delete the other one. Because we don't really need that. Close. Yes. So let's go back to the site. So let's just say, whereabouts do you think we should want to take contours? Do you want to take contours roughly around here?
Where's the site? Sorry,
the site's here. So we've got this kind of mid-level mountain range, then we've got this sort of lower range back through here.
That's plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's enough so we can map the imagery context.
Okay. Okay. So just to show you the process, I mean, this is quite high, so maybe I'll go a little bit closer towards the site, because the site is in the center here. So the site is here. So to get contours, we can just click the Create Contours tab, and then we can choose what contour interval we want to do. So if we're using context topography, then you might want to use, like I would go quite large, like 25 meter contours with a minor contour at 25 and a major contour at 100, just to get the contours. So, and then if we just go to this simplification, draw a box, say that we want that. That didn't work. So I don't know why it's got set here range default. Let's just go 0 to like 3000. Check that. There we go. So now we've got 25 meter and 100 meter contours for the site. So that's basically how you get your contours for your context. So what you can do is you can go into the site. So you can see here, like, if you've got that as a contour data set for your wider context, that's going to cover a large area and still be quite efficient because there's not a lot of contours in there. So what I tend to do would be go into the site and then get a little area around the site that's a little bit higher resolution. So if I just rename that.
I'm amazed, Aaron, how you process all this. You really don't have. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So many packages. It seems convoluted. I was hoping that everything was coming out of Civil.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny.
Just out of interest, doesn't InfoWorks give us context and mapping? So
we can do. I mean, the benefit for this is when you're working with a file. I mean, let's just take what we've got now and let's just go into InfoWorks. And let's.
I'm just thinking about its speed here.
Yep. Yep.
We've got clearly from Civils, we've got the aerial now, and we've got the topo.
Yep.
It's how much. Everything's geolocated in this Civil file, and I presume you're going to take the Civil file into InfoWorks.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Which will give you some kind of. But at the moment, there isn't. Clearly, we've got a site terrain, but no context.
Yep.
Is that?
Yeah. So let's just go through because this I kind of work these up in parallel anyway, which is just getting your base created as well. So let's.
I guess if the terrain model in InfoWorks is sufficient, because I've got the impression InfoWorks gives you terrain.
It does give you terrain, but the problem is you've got a more accurate, detailed survey, and when you overlay that, you're going to see a massive height difference where one survey stops and the other one ends, and that's where Civil will blend the two together. And it's obviously and what you can do is the global mapper can get a much bigger context than what InfoWorks can. So InfoWorks I think is limited to like a certain kilometre by certain kilometre range, whereas with global mapper I've mapped like the entire island of Barbados with contours. So it just opens up the possibilities. So let's go to InfoWorks and see what we can find, because you're right. I mean, we might find that there's enough context within there that we don't need to get too much additional information. So
the logic of going for global mapper is the fact that you can take data from that.
Yeah, there's two options. One, you can get a much wider context with global mapper. That's what it's used for. And then the reason why we use Civil is because we can have a detailed site survey, and then we can blend a lot more smoothly between detailed site survey and the contextual topo, rather than, because if you just use the global mapper data like we're going to build now and overlay the detailed site survey, you'll see massive height discrepancies between the two, where one data set stops and the other one finishes.
So with civils, you can make the survey the dominant reference.
Well, you can basically blend the two together, so you don't see that. So obviously for 3D work, you don't want to see a massive cliff around the outline of your site with a height difference between the two different data sets.
Well, I think that's a lesson. That's a whole nother session.
Yep. Well, let's do the shortcut way, which is let's go to InfoWorks and just.
InfoWorks has got, again, this is for idiots like myself who think.
Yep.
I've got the geolocation. I've actually
okay.
Out of myself.
Okay. So let's. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up InfoWorks, and what I'll do is I'll go to the Manage Group Memberships. And what I'll do is I think it's a good sort of housekeeping just to create a group for group members.
Manage membership.
Let's have a look. Actually, maybe I want to go to this one first. Manage online models.
It's got a default group.
I always get this a bit ballsed up.
You need to create the group for
this one.
then after you add.
Cool. So we'll add this group, and this group is going to be called what's it going to be called? Jala.
Yeah. Can we call it Jala?
Yep.
Yeah.
How's that? Jala, Albania.
Okay. So this is something. Whoever's starting InfoWorks, this is all about. But those other users are going to go to this group, right?
Yep. And before you do anything, it's always advisable to create a group for your project. Otherwise, when you go to Model Builder, it'll ask you to put it in a group, and it'll end up putting it in a different project folder or thing. So it's a little bit funny the way it works, but
is this because this is all kind of saved online in the cloud?
Yeah, kind of. It's just the way the software works.
Open up InfoWorks, create a group.
Yep. And then you can see here, you can go add users. So then what you can do is you can go oops. How do you spell your second name, Tony?
Does that mean that would be Luke? If Luca had to run with this, he could add the users, or can anyone add users and stuff?
Whoever creates a model can add the users. And they kind of become sort of like the owner sort of thing.
Okay.
But you can choose here like publisher, author, reader. So you can give someone read-only access, author access, or publisher access.
Which one gives the full access? Author.
Good question. Maybe author. Raquel, do you know?
Sorry, to myself. Normally, I always put author.
Author. Yeah, there we go. So we can use
And one thing that is nice to know here, Aaron, is once I give, for example,
Yep.
but actually I didn't tell Gary before, and because I had someone that Gary didn't approve before,
Yep.
blocked the model. Which means I always recommend, if you're gonna add someone, and make sure that it's in the list that Gary gave access to the InfoWorks.
Yeah. So what happened was it InfoWorks that blocked them, or was it Gary that blocked them?
No, InfoWorks blocked it because it was kind of a person that didn't have license.
Oh, so obviously as soon as you add the user, it must check online and see if they've got.
Yeah, Charles tried to open. He opened the document, and then after that he opened, he couldn't do anything, and also I couldn't do anything.
Really?
And then I access and give permissions, and then I could access back the model.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something for safety for Autodesk that is like, because Gary have a panel like what us as a user can access, and on InfraWorks, because we don't have many licenses, we don't have all the names on this list. We just have a couple of names that we gave.
Yep. And to be honest, I don't know how that works. I don't know if he's got 5 licenses, he can swap them around all the different people, or whether if it's one user, then we have to pay another fee for another user. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they can swap people around, but knowing Autodesks, they tend to be a bit of an asshole when it comes to things like that. So we'll
Guys,
add.
I'm going to go off in a minute.
Okay.
If you just want to just get.
Okay, well, let's just get the model built. So I'm sharing that with you. You're an author. Done. So we come to Model Builder.
Aaron, this is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Quick as well. It doesn't seem too grimy.
No. I mean that's the thing. I mean, in terms of the whole process, it's actually Oh God, let me see.
There's Bruno. That's where that's our site there.
Okay.
This where you got your hand. There we go.
So right here. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to. So you can see here it's a 2 kilometer square area. So if we zoom out,
that's why global map is better, because it gives you more context.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look. So maximum. Okay. So we'll see how far we can go. So let's go up to the maximum of 200 square kilometers. I mean, it'd be great if you could rotate it, but
no, that's fine. Just become a bit smaller.
So let's do 4.4.
Yeah, come out. That's it.
206. 204. 90. Right, that'll look. So obviously here you need to set the group up first. So we've got Jala Albania. Choose a name, and then basically we can just go create model, and that will essentially suck down the information, then create the model, and that will be geolocated.
Guys, I have to go because my call's just started. So what I just suggest, Luca, just get enough. Any questions just to finish off to get to exactly what he's shown us, and we can have a chat an hour. Yeah.
I mean, if you want, Tony, we can always resume this a little bit later after your call. What time does your call finish?
It should be at 4:30.
Okay, we can always jump on at 4:30 and resume then if you like.
Okay, great. Yeah, let's do that if necessary. Luca, have you got enough to carry on with?
Yeah, that was an interesting part as well, but yeah, I need to check the video at least once and repeat the process. But yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yep. Yeah, and if you get stuck, just drop us a message or something like that, and I can always record little snapshots
so
as
the
well.
first step, Luca, very quickly, is to do what Aaron was doing, is to create this civil file.
Yeah.
The XSSI1 civil, and copy across the survey, and then create the geo map reference with got the. You might need to ask Aaron about how we copied the ortho photo, but I think that's just a copy and paste across into the civil file.
I mean, what we'll do is I can save the CAD file that I've got. Maybe Luca can open that and use that one to carry on with.
Yeah, okay. If you guys just coordinate to get us to that point, because it'd be quite nice to get at least the civil files ready.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to say we can go in to do this if the works. Is that okay?
Okay, sounds good. We'll flick back and we'll carry on with some civil stuff. And then
don't forget the base file, because I know it's going to take a while to get my head around all those bits. But I think what I want to do is get the workflow bit set up, so then Luke can jump into and out of the different things. But and we'll catch a bit later. I'll set up another call either 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Depending on how this goes.
Yep.
Excellent.
Cool.
Okay, Tim. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Talk later. Cool. So let's have a look and see what that looks like. So obviously, once you've done the model builder, you're then able to open it. So did you see, Raquel, that Gary was saying that Dean reckons that he might have found a way that they can share 2020 models? But I don't know if I believe them. So Luca, what we will do